The series feels like beating a 5-year-old in chess. Elaborate? Like you won, and that's a good thing. You should win. So you can feel good because you accomplished what you should. But it's a 5-year-old playing chess. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Games 74 and 75 of the regular season, where the Astros win the final 2 games of the series against the Chicago White Sox, and win the series 2-1. They win yesterday 4-1. They win today 5-3. This series really depends on how you view this team and how you view the Astros. Just in general. What is the team that we're watching? And it totally, one of my favorite sayings, and I've used it here a ton, which is, expectation is the gateway to disappointment. If your expectation is that they were a really good team, this series probably disappoints you. Because they lose the first game 2-0 in embarrassing fashion where they don't even give up an RBI base hit. Yesterday, they just win a game. There's nothing wrong with that. 4-1's fine. I have no qualms. Today, it's this 5-3 win where the pitching isn't, like, phenomenal out of the starter. Arrighetti kind of had a bounce-back performance. 5 shutouts, great. The 3 runs in the 6th wasn't. It's another case of the Astros trying to be too cute with Arrighetti and then getting burnt for it. And they come back. They have a 4 spot in the 8th inning, which is great. Dude, you shouldn't be having to make multi-run comebacks late in games against the White Sox. And it really boils down to, do you think this team is really good and had a bad start to the season? But you look at what they did past game, 26, and go, yeah, they're a really good team. You should be disappointed then. If you look at them as this team that's slightly above water, they're an okay team, maybe they're bang average, this is a great series because, you picked up games. You overtook second cleanly in the division. You've passed the Rangers for second place. God, I wish that was more impressive than it actually is this season. You pick up a pair of games, take care of business, it's an inferior opponent. You win the series, that's all well and good. But, dude, I've said it, you can't just be average right now. This team, if they want to dig themselves out of the pit, have to be phenomenal. They have to be great. And you look at the upcoming schedule, and that's where the big issues really can show themselves. Because you had Detroit and the White Sox, who are both subpar teams. They're both around bang average. And you take 4 of the 6, which is great, but then you dial it back a little bit. You look at the San Francisco Giants games, where again, about bang average, around your level, they're a couple games under 500. And you go 1-2 against them. So overall, you take 5 of a possible 9 games. That's not bad. But the issue arises. Next up on the docket, you have 3 against Baltimore, who are phenomenal. You have 2 against Colorado, which, admittedly, probably can take both of those. But then you have 3 in New York against the Mets, who, ever since ye old Grimace went out there and tossed out a first pitch, kind of have been like the 85 Mets. Or the 86 Mets. Pardon me. Would hate to mess up which 80s blank team made a rap song video I'm referring to. 85 was for the Bears. I'm not a total dope. You need to win the games against bad teams because then you play those really good teams. The Astros aren't as good as the Baltimore Orioles in them at this point. God, that just feels weird to say. Anyway, the Astros aren't as good as the Baltimore Orioles. That's just a fact of life. You're probably going to get killed. If you got swept, I wouldn't particularly be surprised. Not that the Astros are that bad. The Orioles are that good. They're phenomenal. And they could very well lay an absolute pummeling down upon the Astros. If you sweep the White Sox, and if you take care of business against the Giants beforehand. And so you roll into this, you win that series in St. Louis, you win that series in Anaheim, you win that series in San Francisco, you win the series against Detroit at home, then you go into Chicago and sweep them. You know what? Yeah, you might get your can handed to you by the White Sox, but you know what? You kind of earned having an off couple of games, an off series. But when you just can't take care of the simple things that you absolutely have to take care of, you open yourself up for so much more hardship. Because now you have that against the White Sox, or against the Baltimore Orioles, where it's a tall ask, and you've got to go take care of business. I think mandate you have to win a game. You can't let them come in and sweep you if you want to maintain any credibility. If you really want to get that credibility, win the series. The final pieces of housekeeping before we look at that Baltimore series, and it's interesting. Hunter Brown looked like the Diesel, which is really, really nice to see. Great performance in the second game of the series. Mauricio Dubon and Cesar Salazar might be better than Bagwell and Biggio. And I definitely didn't have to redo this take. Mauricio Dubon and Cesar Salazar are the new Biswell and Baggio. Yordan Alvarez should probably just be elected to be the emperor of the world. And Alex Bregman had a really nice day today. 3 hits, runs scored, fantastic night or afternoon out of Breggy. Jeez. They have too many Bs. Like, the killer Bs have become too literal. And now we look at the Orioles series. The pitching matchups are quite interesting because you're going to have Corbin Burns versus Ronel Blanco, which is a little bit daunting. Definitely, that isn't the best. Then you'll have Albert Cesar versus Framber Valdez, who, by the way, Cesar has a 2.5 ERA, which is so much fun. Burns has a 2.14, by the way. Good Lord. The most interesting one is tomorrow. Because tomorrow night, Friday night, primetime baseball at 8:10, 7:10 Central, the Orioles are going to send Grayson Rodriguez to the mound. And the Astros are going to send Jake Bloss. And if you think to yourself, I don't know who that is, I give Jake Bloss all the credit in the world because he has worked his way to where he is going to start a Major League Baseball game tomorrow night. That's awesome for him. I hope that it goes really, really well. If you want a quick little bit of history, the good news is his ERA is phenomenal. I want to say his career ERA in the minor leagues is around 2.5 or 2.05. Phenomenal. The things that are terrifying with that game tomorrow evening are he has pitched 19 professional games of baseball. And he is 22 years old. So he is roughly a couple of months older than I am and has less than 20 professional games pitched. Going up against possibly the best team in Major League Baseball. I mean, we're just going to see what happens. They're just going to have a go of it. Game's at 8:10 Eastern, 7:10 Central, and I'll be here afterwards to talk about it. But as for right now, that is all I have to say. If you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Astros.